Hello my sweeties and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Celise and thank you for joining my spooky little family. In today's video, we are talking about Smile 2. Let's get into the video. So the day has come where we all get to smile again. I am fresh back from seeing Smile 2. I was lucky enough to see Smile 2 early on Tuesday, which was really fun. Shout out to Paramount Pictures for the invite. That was a lot of fun and there was a massive turnout. We had so many people at this screening. I was not expecting for it to be a full house and everybody be so incredibly excited, which was so fun, so infectious. I love being in a big room full of horror nerds. So that was so much fun. I had a great time, was honored to be there. Oh, and yes, I did make this really cute shirt to go to the screening on Tuesday, and it was a hit. I mean, I had to do it to them, you know? I'm constantly getting "you should smile more" from a bunch of men. And I'm gonna be real, girl, after seeing this movie, I don't think I wanna do that. I think I'm good with just mean mugging everybody, okay? So I think after I talked up Smile back in 2022, it is now time, baddies. It is now time for you to hear if I think Smile 2 lived up to the hype. I have to be really honest. I was worried. But before we get into my thoughts, let me tell you a little bit about what Smile 2 is about. Directed by Parker Finn, starring Naomi Scott, Kyle Gallner, Rosemary DeWitt, and Lucas Gage, Smile 2 follows Sky Riley, a global pop sensation who begins experiencing increasingly terrifying and inexplicable events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and the pressures of fame, Sky is forced to face her dark past to regain control of her life before it spirals out of control. Oh my God. I have to be real, you guys. I was a bit concerned when I saw that Smile was going to be getting a sequel. And that is because I really felt so deeply, so strongly that Smile was just such a great standalone horror film. And I was kind of adamant about, like, it really doesn't need a sequel. But oh my God, I have to be honest, I did not think I would be here today to say that I really had so much fun with this movie. Smile 2 does everything 10 times bigger than the first film. Of course, I think we have a much bigger budget here, and Parker Finn just continues to showcase how incredible he is at framing shots and scares. And he has such a great balance of horror and comedy. It's very strange. Like, it was the same kind of deal with Smile, where there was this kind of weird, dark humor to it where you were like, I'm so scared. That's so funny. And this one does the same thing, but there is so much like higher stakes and it's crazy. I really thought at first with this one that the pop star thing wasn't really gonna be for me. I was like, this has the ability to get really cheesy really fast and be kind of stupid for me. But actually, it's not. I mean, Parker Finn has clearly not lost the plot. So before we get more into the story, let's talk a little bit about our performances because, oh my gosh, there is some in here that we need to praise and we need to praise it immediately. So first we have to talk about the new Scream Queen that just dropped, Miss Naomi Scott. Parker Finn casting the baddest bitches in the Smile universe is everything to me. I want to personally thank you, Parker, for making my dreams come true. Naomi Scott is now my new crush and love that for me. We have to talk about her incredible powerhouse of a performance. I mean, She is doing so much in this film. So for those who don't know, she is actually singing all of the songs, did all her own choreography, and was training for many months before doing this movie. And oh my God, she knocks it out of the park. Not only is she an amazing singer, like her voice is gorgeous, the dancing, everything, but she made the movie feel so authentic. Her performance is so centered, and I love that. She was giving so much, and there is so much that Sky Riley specifically has to do in this movie and that she is going through, even in some scenes that have no dialogue, that you kind of just get an insight of her world and how kind of like disassociated she is from everything going on around her. And chef's kiss, because it was done so well, and she's amazing from start to finish. I was like, whoa. I have to be honest, I felt a lot more connected to Sky Riley than I did with Rose in the first film. And I think that's also because with Sky specifically, she's got so many layers to her. There's so many things going on. And not to say that Rose didn't, she had a lot of things going on as well. But I think the characterization of Sky is 10 times better. And I have to praise the writing end of that, because I feel like we really got into her psyche here. And I think that's what ultimately made me really relate to her. There's actually a lot in the film that I personally was like, oh my God. And I don't even say this to be funny. I personally felt so connected because I felt like this character was so BPD coded. And honestly, as someone who has BPD, there was just so many things that I was like, oh my God, okay, this makes so much sense. Like her fear of abandonment, how scared she is of people seeing something that they're not gonna like about her. It was just really relatable. I think there's a lot of really strong moments that kind of bring you back into like mental illness and how a lot of people do not take mental illness seriously. And that is why I have to say that Parker Finn has not lost the plot of these movies. Yes, he's having fun with the story and it's a little bit goofy and kind of terrifying and like has humor and all this stuff. He is still nailing that with the fact that just people don't get it. And I think the pop star element adds a lot to that too, because there's a lot to be said about parasocial relationships that people tend to have with incredibly famous people. So I really liked adding that into this. That really just kind of made everything even better for me, honestly. And now that I'm done praising Miss Naomi Scott, we have to talk about Kyle Gallner, who I'm so happy that Kyle Gallner was back to reprise his role in this one. If you have not seen the film, I don't plan on spoiling anything, so do not fear. I am not going to say anything, but he is incredible. As always, Kyle Gallner brings such a levity to everything he does. It's so amazing to watch him work. He's like a real working actor and he loves the craft and it shines through. His scenes specifically were so good. I mean, you did it again. You did it again. Incredible work from him. I don't want to give spoilers away, so I'm trying to like dance around it, but really like no notes for Mr. Gallner. So next, actually, I want to talk about Lucas Gage, who I have been a fan of Lucas Gage for a while. I have seen him in so many like little random things here and there, and I feel like he does such a great job in this movie specifically. This feels like just a role that was kind of like made for him somehow. He nails this goofy, very comedic role, but also in terms of like feeling terrified and just nailing that sense of dread and fear, he really has it down. Not to mention the smile that he is giving is actually one of the most terrifying in this movie. The smile, the sweat, just I love an actor that is not afraid to get dirty. He really was so good. And now we have to talk about someone that I was shocked to see. I have not seen him in anything else before this, so this was a pleasant surprise. we have to talk about Ray Nicholson. Yes, this is Jack Nicholson's son, who, like, what? I didn't even know Jack Nicholson had a son. But when I saw him, I was like, why does he look just like Jack Nicholson? To no surprise, it is his son. I mean, you cannot deny it. Like, the resemblance, uncanny. So Ray has a really good, intense scene in this movie. And to save you from spoilers, I'm also going to kind of dance around it. It is such an important scene to Sky's character and to what kind of unfolds later in the movie. And this scene is like one of my favorite parts of the whole film. Not only is it directed incredibly well, but both him and Naomi Scott have incredible chemistry. And it's one of those scenes that it's kind of like this tight shot, feels almost claustrophobic. It gives you a lot of anxiety with what is actually going on in the scene. And he is amazing. There is some great performances in this movie. I can't even tell you. To be honest, I was surprised because based off the trailer alone, I didn't think, I didn't think for some reason that the performances would be this good to this level. But really, he was great. And his scene with Naomi Scott is probably the most memorable scene for me, and was also one that I also weirdly related to in Sky's perspective. Just her entire thing. I relate to her so hard. I also wanted to talk about Dylan Jalula. She actually plays Gemma, and Gemma is a really important character too. And Gemma and Sky's relationship actually was part of why I was feeling like I could relate so hard to Sky, because I think it's super clear that for Sky, Gemma could be her favorite person. Now, again, I was relating this in like a BPD way. I don't know why, it just came across that way for me. And I'm so happy it did, because I really do feel like this was kind of made for me. And I felt very seen. But she's great as Gemma. She has some great comedic relief, and their friendship feels really believable. And I loved all of their scenes. They were really, again, just grounded in reality. Now that we're done talking about our performances, we have to talk about the story. And again, because I'm not doing any spoilers today, because I want you guys to go and see this weekend, I kind of have to dance around things just a little bit. The story here, like I said earlier, is so much bigger. Obviously, we're following the whole pop star thing, and there's a lot more trauma that is being unfolded in this one compared to the first movie. I have seen a couple of reviews of people saying that this feels exactly like the first movie, just with different elements. And I have to be honest, I mean, we do know after the first film that the smile is this curse. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be kind of the same situation, but I do feel like this kind of bumps it up a bunch in terms of intensity. And I think they really nail that. I also seen that some people say that it feels like a bit repetitive. I actually don't really agree. I think that everything that happened was really well done, and ultimately a lot of our scares that were supposed to be like these shocking moments, to me, were really, really shocking. And once again, Parker Finn is just great at framing jump scares. And the score. We have to discuss that score, because the score is haunting. It's like you can look away from the movie, but the score is just so unsettling. I think just like the first Smile, this one has just a sense of dread from the very opening shot. And then we have a fantastic title card, and just I really am becoming a big Parker Finn girly. I am really liking seeing what he is doing. I think it's fun, and I think the whole Smile curse and this whole thing about mental illness is really an interesting thing to do. And like I said with the first smile, I think Parker just has like a nice way of handling mental illness. You can just tell he really cares, and that means a lot. Outside of the story, which is kind of hard to talk about without getting really into spoilers, I have to point out that this movie kind of goes in places that I didn't really see it going. Like, I do think there are these kind of scares that you're like, oh, it's coming, and like you can kind of predict it. But I think ultimately I didn't really see where we were going. And once again, these Smile films have such a way with kind of also tricking your mind into not really trusting your lead character, not trusting their mind, and you also don't know what's real and what's not. And I think also the way that's done is so well. Like, don't even get me started. I'm obsessed. I do think though, I kind of was expecting a little bit of that ending, because I had a feeling with the whole pop star premise that something big was going to happen, obviously in terms of her music or at a concert or something. So I guess that part wasn't really surprising. But the things that were surprising that kind of make it 10 times better for me are the use of the practical effects. Now, the Smile entity, monster, whatever you want to call her, love. I love the way this thing looks. The endless teeth and smiling and goopy. Ugh, love it. It looks so good. It looks so good. And I'm also happy that all of the actors that are not in the main cast, but just like the other actors that were just doing smiles that didn't really have much dialogue or anything to do but smile, were all really great. They did the smile so well, because like Parker Finn said in an interview, it's so easy for the smile to kind of look hokey and kind of just not scary at all. But he casted everybody who just like nailed it. They nailed it. The little girl that we also see her in the trailer with like the braces that's at the signing, she was great. She really didn't love that. I needed her to stop. Like, there was too much of her. There's a lot of close shots that are very uncomfortable in this movie. There is so much discomfort. The final act is just intense. It is an absolute ride. It's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and I loved every second of it. I honestly can't wait to watch Smile 2 again. I can't wait to watch Smile and Smile 2 at home back to back. And I really hope, I can't believe I'm here saying this today, I hope that we do get a Smile 3. After the ending that we get in this one, you can't leave us like that. Like, he can't keep getting away with this, right? Like, that ending was crazy. And now it leaves room for like so much insanity. Like, I feel like he could really up the ante in the third film. But I'm gonna be real. If he is gonna make a third film, I think the third film has to be the end. I have so many thoughts. Do you want to hire me in the writer's room? Okay, so I just absolutely talked your ear off about Smile 2. Without further ado, I am going to let you all know that I am going to be giving Smile 2 4.5 Levs out of 5. This is an incredibly fun film. It has a lot to say. It has a lot to say about mental illness. It has a lot to say about parasocial relationships. And it's really not this surface level kind of stupid, cheesy horror film that I think a lot of people are thinking. So I implore all of you, if you haven't seen it, or even if you didn't really like the first Smile and you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to see Smile 2, I really think you should give it a shot. There is at least a couple things you will like about it. The music is great. Love it. Love the Sky Riley EP. It's so good. New Brain is my new anthem. And it's just fun. It's a great time. If you want some great performances, if you want to see, you know, to me, a future Scream Queen, you gotta check it out. It's worth checking out, and I think it is probably a perfect watch for this season specifically. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps me a lot. And be sure to click that little notification bell to be up to date every single time I upload. And let me know in the comments if you plan on seeing Smile 2. If you've seen it already, did you like it? Did you hate it? I love to talk about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.